Hello out there, folks. Today we're going to take a quick look at the Scream Factory 4K Blu-ray release of The Blob, a 1988 film directed by Chuck Russell and, of course, starring the inimitable Kevin Dillon and his mullet, and a lot of other characters that you actually see later on in their careers, most notably the gentleman who plays Dale in The Walking Dead. He's in this film, plays a sheriff. This is one of my favorite go-to 80s horror films. I would put this right alongside The Fly remake by David Cronenberg from 1986, just 2 years earlier, as excellent examples of what happened in the 80s with some of the remakes. The Thing is another one, and how effective they were at bringing, the state-of-the-art in-camera practical effect work to these classic horror films. And I can't say enough about this movie. I think this is one of my favorite films of the horror genre, certainly of within the 80s, but I think of all time. I would put it in my top 10 horror films of all time. And I'm happy to report that Scream Factory has done a commendable job with this transfer. Apparently it's based on a new original camera negative scan, 4K scan, and all of the previous supplemental features from the previous Blu-ray release have been ported over. Essentially, the only difference between this one and the earlier Blu-ray release is the new 4K scan from the original camera negative. And I am happy to report that the picture quality is stunning. It looks terrific, and it's a huge win over the earlier transfer. I believe the audio is the same file, the same 5.1 surround, and it's fine. It does a good job, but I think clearly the PQ is the reason that one would pick this up as opposed to the Blu-ray. It's practically an order of magnitude better, in my opinion. It's definitely borderline reference quality, especially for a film from the 80s. Now, of course, this has the slipcover, and again, if you want to pause that, you can see all the supplemental features. I also like the artwork on this release a bit better. The previous release had the fan artwork, which I was not a fan of, incidentally. Didn't really care for it, even though it of course featured Kevin Dillon and his mullet, which is always a good thing. But as you can see, this is I think some of the earlier original studio artwork, and just a great film. Such a good creature feature. And I, of course, have the Criterion original Blob, and it's a fun movie, definitely. Steve McQueen, 40 years old, playing a high school student. You have to suspend disbelief, obviously, but I mean, it's a fun film. But I think that the remake pretty much bests it across all categories. It's just an excellent example of how you can take a decent source material and a fun movie and really give it a big boost with the state-of-the-art in practical effect work at the time and a good cast. I think that this film has a solid cast, excellent writing by Frank Darabont, and again, Chuck Russell's sure-footed direction. It's just one of those films that I invariably watch every spooky season and always have a big grin on my face. So on that note, I would just say, please do yourself a favor and check out The Blob. And I think the Scream Factory 4K Blu-ray release is definitely the pinnacle representation of the film, and absolutely worth a pickup. So take care. Until that next time, stay safe, be kind, and by all means, keep watching good cinema.